This is massive for the Phoenix Suns as we could be getting a new version of Devin Booker to lead the team in what we are hoping is going to be a championship level season. Booker coming off a great experience, winning a gold medal in Paris with the Olympic team, is going to be bringing probably some of these new concepts he's been able to add to his game to the Phoenix Suns this season. We're going to break all that down right here on Suns Digest. My name is CJ Pierre. Thanks for joining us. Before we get into what we are expecting to be a new look Devin Booker, we noticed that about 82% of you guys are watching our videos, and we appreciate that, but you haven't subscribed to the channel just yet. If you want to make sure you're keeping up to date with all of the latest Phoenix Suns news and updates, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Now, we're going to get into this as we kind of break down what Devin Booker was able to do with the United States national basketball team in winning a gold medal in Paris and how he can bring those aspects to his game with the Phoenix Suns this upcoming season. We are going to start with Booker will be the Suns' top defender. That was the most important thing that we saw from Devin Booker during the course of the Olympics in Paris is his ability to be a solid on-ball defender. And I think given the changes that the Phoenix Suns did over the course of the offseason, adding the pieces that they did, losing some players, Devin Booker will have to embrace, and I expect him to embrace the role of being the Suns' number one defender, particularly when it comes to the starting lineup. And he really showed out over the course of the time that we saw him over the course of the Olympics. He was the primary on ball defender. He started every game with the United States team, and he was the number one guy that was guarding the primary ball handler for the opposite team. We saw him really lock down guys against South Sudan, against Serbia, and against France in the gold medal game as well. Devin Booker really showing that when he locks in, he can be a solid on-ball defender, and that will translate into NBA action this upcoming season. I would expect you to see Devin Booker doing a lot more of being the primary defender on the other team's best player and doing some double duty as far as also being a primary offensive player for the Phoenix Suns. You'll also probably see him guarding the team's facilitator, the point guard, if you will, or point forward, depending on matchups and obviously size for that matter. But Devin Booker really showed that he has the ability to guard on the ball, and it's something that he's willing to do. He even talked about it uh, in terms of his Olympic experience. Quote, just understanding you have to play a role. I always took pride in being able to do a little bit of everything on the court. It's not always going to be our scoring ability. You're not always going to get the ball, just locking into the details of the game. And one of those details being his ability to contribute on the defensive end, which he showed in spades with the Olympic team. Now, if you take a look at the Suns starting lineup in terms of what to expect defensively from each position and what the projected starting lineup is, you start with Tyus Jones at point guard. Is he the worst defender in the world? No, he's not. He's actually a pretty capable defender, but he is on the smaller side. He's about 6'2", and so he's probably going to be matched up with someone who is maybe a primary shooter or not necessarily someone who is going to be cutting to the basket very often, someone who he's going to be able to manage on the perimeter, someone who's probably going to be in spot up situations that could also lead to seeing Tyus Jones in pick and roll scenarios where they try and hunt him down to find some mismatches on the defensive end. So that's kind of where you look at in terms of where he's going to be. When you look at guys like Bradley Beal and Devin Booker are probably going to be the most interchangeable. Bradley Beal is a slightly worse defender than Devin Booker, but he's not bad either. He actually, when he decides to lock in, he actually can be a solid defender in his own right. He didn't have a great showing in the playoffs last year, being matched up against Anthony Edwards on several occasions. There were a bunch of times where Edwards kind of just blew by Beal like he wasn't there. I feel like that was more of an aspect of Beal not necessarily feeling like he was involved and engaged in the game. He had several struggles on offense in that series, and I think that impacted him defensively as well. I would expect to see Bradley Beal kind of being more on the secondary scorer, if you will. So if you were to take a look at a matchup in regards to, let's say they're matched up against the Dallas Mavericks, per se. I would probably see Bradley Beal to take more of guarding a Kyrie, or interchangeable between Kyrie and Luca. With Devin Booker kind of flip flopping, as need be, but there will probably be a little bit more switching done between those guys. When you look at Kevin Durant and Nurkic, they're going to be on the interior, guarding big men. Kevin Durant most likely guarding whichever big man is going to be flashing out to the perimeter, stretch fours, um, and maybe even some centers who might about more so than others. If you were to take a look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, for example, Kevin Durant would probably guard a Jalen Williams, while Yusuf Nurkic would guard a Chet Holmgren, where that would leave Devin Booker to be the primary defender on ball. If there was a Thunder matchup, Devin Booker would probably guard SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, more often than not, with Tyus Jones maybe matched up with Alex Caruso, and then you would see Bradley Beal on like a Lou Dort in that example. So I expect to see a lot more from Devin Booker on the offensive end, or on the defensive end rather, which I think will be really key for what the Suns end up looking like as they try to improve defensively. Frank Vogel was a defensive coach, but he wasn't able to get the guys to lock in defensively with their concepts. We also saw in the summer league that the summer league players were having some issues, communicating in terms of help defense and those concepts. That will pick up over time. They have other defensive players, particularly coming off the bench, that can help organize and orchestrate those things. Mason Plumlee, Royce O'Neal, guys who have experience in this league. Kevin Durant's a really good defender as well. So I really think the Suns will be able to be a solid defensive team with Devin Booker really being the head of that. I think he will be the team's top defender. Look at him to actually push for a chance to maybe make an all defensive team this upcoming year. That's one phase of that Booker showed us in the Olympics that we can see in Phoenix. But another big thing is his ability to work off the ball and adding that into his game and seeing more off ball action. Devin Booker last year was one of the primary ball handlers for the Phoenix Suns, having to facilitate, having to set up other guys, really kind of be the point guard for the team. And that's not his natural role. He's not really a point guard. He's not really a facilitator of offense, which is why the addition of Tyus Jones, which we've been screaming on this podcast forever, point guard, point guard, point guard, was so important, and why we think it's going to fit what Mike Budenholzer wants to do offensively. What does that do for Devin Booker? It allows him to be more of an off ball asset, which he kind of was early in his career, kind of shifted to having more ball handling responsibilities over the past few years. More so what we saw when he was with Chris Paul. I think that's going to be more so the Devin Booker movement off the ball and being able to do things in that vein. With the Olympic team, LeBron James was the primary ball handler, the primary facilitator, which meant Devin Booker had to find his do his damage off ball, cutting, setting screens, moving without the basketball, finding open spaces on the court. And I think we're gonna see similar action with him with this upcoming season with the Phoenix Suns. Now, does that mean that he'll take less shots? Does that mean that he's going to score less points? No, not when you have Tyus Jones as the point guard. Tyus Jones is going to be looking to get Beal and Durant and Booker the ball in place they can succeed. And I expect Mike Budenholzer to draw up a lot of plays and a lot of action for Devin Booker. And that's very similar to what we saw Devin Booker do in the Olympics on offense. LeBron James, a primary ball handler, was really found Devin Booker in a lot of different positions to get easy buckets and open shots. And Devin Booker moving without the basketball, finding a way to find the open spaces on the floor was really one of his biggest advantages. And that's something that Team USA head coach Steve Kerr definitely noted and applauded Booker for. He mentioned he's probably the guy who has been the most adaptable to go from a different role in the NBA to a new one here. He's such a big scorer in the league, but just like in Tokyo in the previous Olympics, he adapted to being an on-ball guy, ball mover. The offense clicks when he's out there. The defense is really good. That's why he started every game and seems to be good with any combination. That just kind of speaks to Devin Booker's versatility, ability to find places to be successful both on defense and offense, as we're talking about here. And I think that Devin Booker will be able to take a lot of these concepts, this ability to really move off the ball and find places to succeed into the Suns' upcoming season. Now, last year, Devin Booker obviously one of the Suns' big guys. He averaged 27 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, 6.9 assists per game, shooting 49% from the field, 36% from 3-point range. I think what we can expect from Booker this upcoming season is things like his assist numbers to go down a bit. I don't think he won't be the primary ball handler, which means he won't be in position to facilitate offense, which means he'll actually be able to probably just focus more on getting his own shot. I expect him to actually probably score more points, probably maybe in the 28, 29 range. He might flirt with scoring 30 points this upcoming season. I would expect with his ability to um, be active on the defensive end, that he'll probably find average more steals and he'll have less turnovers because he won't have the ball in his hands as much, particularly in terms of like trying to make decisions and get other guys involved. I think Devin Booker is primed to have an MVP caliber season this upcoming year, and I am super excited to see what he does and how he applies what he got from this recent Olympic run and bring it to the Suns this season. I think he is going to be the biggest X factor in why the Suns will be contenders this upcoming season. I think Phoenix has a chance to win a championship this year, and I think Devin Booker is going to be the key reason why. But that's just what I think. We want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you guys think about Devin Booker's Olympic run and how he's going to add those aspects to his game here in the NBA and how he's going to help the Suns become a contender. Let us know in the comments section below. Again, we are the place to be if you want to keep up to date with all the latest Suns news and updates. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing that we're going to have looking for you. But that's all the time I got for you guys today. I appreciate you guys for sticking with us. Again, we're going to have more videos as we lead up into training camp and into the preseason as we head into next season. Again, that's all the time I got for you guys. I will see you guys next time. And go Phoenix Suns.